What is up, everybody? You are very welcome along to Friday night's late night agenda. As always, I'm your host Craig, and it is a pleasure to have you, whether you're with us on Hot Mic or whether you're with us on YouTube. Thank you for joining. There's loads for us to get through tonight. There is the obligatory Timo Werner talk, which of course we have to talk about every single night because that's the done thing now if you're a Liverpool fan. We want to talk about when football might get back into action, which is why you've got the stream title that you have tonight, and lots of other bits and pieces in between. But as always, ladies and gentlemen, let me first of all start the show by thanking you all for joining us, and I hope that wherever you're watching in the world that you have prosperity, that you have health, and that you have hope, and that things are doing well for you, because it's difficult times for a lot of people right now, and this is the time of the night where we try to give you a bit of fun, a bit of relaxation, a bit of time to switch off and be yourself. So just sit back, relax, enjoy, and let's have a bit of fun together and talk some football, since we can't fucking watch any, so we might as well talk about it until we're blue in the face. So how are we all tonight, ladies and gents, and what topic would you like to start off tonight's conversation with? Again, if you are joining us on YouTube, please do remember to hit that subscribe button. Drop us a thumbs up on the stream as well. And if you haven't yet downloaded the Hot Mic app, which, by the way, now over 1,600 of you amazing people have, thank you so much for that. Hot Mic can be and will be a game changer for us and many other broadcasters, ladies and gents. So please do download the Hot Mic app. There's a link in the description below. Google Hot Mic. Put it into your search engine, or by say your search engine, go into your app store, Google Play Store, Apple App Store, Hot Mic, download the app, put in the code on the screen, the sign up code Anfield as you see it there, and let's see if we can get to 1650 on this stream with regards to people who use the app. If you don't know what Hot Mic is, go over and have a look at it. I can see right there now Bernard Sweeney's in there, Yusuf's in there, Liz is in there, people saying like and share. There's the same live chat function as well that you have on YouTube. It just helps us out massively as well. You'll get the same experience, same screen, same wording, everything is the same. It's just a different platform, and it's one that we want people to get used to trying to use on our channel and stuff moving forward, because I think you'll enjoy our watch-alongs more on Hot Mic when that time comes. Anyway, let's get enough of that. Let's get to the Timo Werner news. So look, I've been reading a lot over the last 24 hours about Timo Werner, as I'm sure you guys have as well. Mixed bag, I think it's fair to say, but with one thing consistent in everything I've read. Every single thing seems to point to the fact that he will become a Liverpool player at some point. I've seen mixed reviews. I've seen some things say, for example, that Timo Werner's ready to sign for Liverpool and his release clause expires. I think his release clause is €60 million, £52 million on June the 15th. But then you've got people like Sky who were saying, although Liverpool definitely do want to sign him, there's something on their side that said that they believe that we're not ready to make a move for him because we don't want to pay the release clause. What that means, I don't know. And it got me thinking, what does it mean? I mean, if Sky are right, and I think it might have been Kave Solikol, if my memory's correct, who was talking about this particular subject, or writing about this particular subject, and it made me think, we know what the release clause is, if the 60 million is what it is. So Liverpool know, or any other club know, what they have to go in and pay to trigger that clause to allow Timo Werner to go and move. But I wonder, are Liverpool trying to do something a little bit different with the current financial market that we're in? Brian touched on this another night on a stream as well when we were talking. Is there perhaps a player plus a few quid in cash to be done here? Is there a more different structured deal with regards to how well Liverpool do going forward and how much money? Like, let's say the Naby Keita deal. A lot of that depended on how much Leipzig will get if Liverpool qualify for the Champions League, if they won the Premier League, X, Y and Z, if there were different clauses met. I wonder. And I also wonder massively about the 60 million. Because I remember reading a very, very, very long time ago when Timo Werner's contract at Leipzig was about to run out and he would have been able to become a free agent. I remember seeing and hearing about him signing this new deal and thinking, why the fuck did he do it? The man could have walked away from the club for nothing, could have signed for Liverpool, could have signed for Bayern Munich, Manchester United, Chelsea, whoever the hell he wanted to go and sign for. But he didn't. He signed a new deal at Leipzig. Why would he have done that? So it got me thinking. A couple of reasons. One, maybe he has shown genuine loyalty to a club that has brought him through the ranks or developed him into the player that he is, and wants them to get a few bob from going forward, and knowing that he'll probably always get a good wage. So let's move that to one side and now say to ourselves, right, well, would he agree to a €60 million buyout clause in his contract when he could have left for free? Would his agent have put that into his clause? I don't know, is the honest answer. I have a sneaking suspicion that clause, that €60 million that's been spoken about, isn't the buying price for Timo Werner. I think Timo Werner can be gotten for less than that. I don't know if the 30 million that I heard at the time when he signed his contract extension is true or not. But what I can say for certain is I think Michael Edwards and Jurgen Klopp and the Liverpool recruitment team have a sniff that there might be a chance to do something a little bit out of the ordinary here, a little bit different, a little bit sneaky, or whatever way you want to phrase it, to try and save a few quid and try and get a better deal for Timo Werner. And I'm intrigued to see what that might be. I genuinely am intrigued to see what it might be. Because is he worth the money that the €60 million release clause, if that exists, is the case? Yeah, of course he is. 60 million to buy a striker of his calibre in this day and age, £52 million. Absolutely he is. But that's not how Liverpool operate. Liverpool are very, very shrewd in the transfer market. And if Michael Edwards, Jurgen Klopp and the recruitment team get a sniff that there perhaps is a deal to be done there, then hey, they might go and move the deal. So you never know. I want to get your thoughts on that anyway tonight. I know you've probably had your fill of Timo Werner, and there is a load more for us to get through. We'll talk about Willian, we'll talk about football restarting, we'll talk about Cara having a few words to say as well, we'll talk about Sadio Mane, Harvey Elliott, and lots of other things in between as well that's on the agenda to get through tonight. So again, it's your show, ladies and gents. Keep the comments coming. First super sticker of the night. Thank you so much, Joanne. Getting used to seeing that one from me now, Joanne. The on-set super sticker. Thank you. Really do appreciate it. And again, if you want to sign up to become a member, you get use of all those cool emojis that Roy has just put on there. We've got a clap emoji, a fuck 'em emoji, a see senor emoji, loads of other bits and pieces as well. If you want to become a member of the channel, just hit the join button, ladies and gents. It's 99p a month to become an Anfield Agenda FC member. Right, over to Hot Mic for a few comments before we jump back over to YouTube. Bernadette says, hello to Cape Town Muslim, how are you? Or it's Captain Chris, actually, sorry, how are you? Am I visible on the chat? You certainly are, sir. Lovely to have you with us. Off topic, what's our recruitment policy, said Casper. Top class, mate, is what I would class it as. But what is the policy? I suppose it's an open-ended one. I think you'd have to ask yourself what position we're looking at, what the need is. Do we have anybody coming through in the youth ranks? I mean, ideally, I would say to you, our policy is to buy somebody between the ages of 17 and 24, 25. Somebody who has proven themselves to some extent, but will undoubtedly go on to prove themselves more. It sounds like an easy thing to say. It sounds like an easy thing to do. It sounds very simplistic, and it isn't that simplistic. Because when it comes to a recruitment policy, they look into things like their personal life. They look into their mental attitude. They look into their, obviously, their medical history. They look into their family background, I believe. They look into their attitude in their other clubs in different situations. I remember reading an article Melissa Reddy wrote about Roberto Firmino, where Liverpool looked at him playing in different types of weather conditions, playing in snow, playing in sun, just to see how he reacted and adapted to these different environments and how mentally and psychologically the player coped in these situations. So it's a really difficult question to answer, Casper, and one that I am certainly not qualified to give you an in-depth answer on, but detailed and long-term thinking. There's no such thing as Liverpool suddenly just going out and buying a player on a whim. I think those days are gone. And we do not make very many, if any, what I would like to call, I suppose, what's the word I'm looking for here? Compulsive purchases. Yes, we don't make many compulsive purchases. We kind of think things out a little bit. What else have we got? Over to Hot Mic for some more comments. Thank you, by the way, to everyone that is watching with us on Hot Mic. I really do appreciate you giving that platform a try. If I can ask you guys to do one favour for me, you know what it is. If you're on Hot Mic, hit that share button as well. Also, there's also more chance of comments getting read out on Hot Mic as well, because there's less, so it's easy for me to see them. The chat moves a lot slower as well. Right, back over to YouTube. Let me see what we've got here. Russ Holden said, I think if we get Werner as well, we'll need cover for Salah and Mane if the African Cup of Nations goes ahead next year. there's a lot of international tournaments, Russ, going ahead next year, mate, isn't there? You've got the Copa America, you've got the AFCON, we've now got the Euros. So yeah, it's a valid point, mate, and we do need to get in bodies, and we would be losing maybe Naby Keita, Sadio Mane, Mohamed Salah. Am I missing anybody else from the team that might be off to the AFCON? John Matip's retired from international football, so he won't be off. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely some possibilities there, mate, that we may lose players. But I don't know if that would be enough to invoke a reaction in Jurgen Klopp the recruitment to go out and buy somebody, because it's short-term thinking, and again, it's not what the club is about. Under Jurgen Klopp, they don't really do short-term thinking. They kind of look bigger picture and long-term, which really impresses me when it comes to what we do as a club. Right, what else we got? Klopp said we're not the finished article, said Bernadette Farrell over on Hot Mic, and we're not. You're right. And how great is that to say, by the way? Like, we're as good as we are right now, and we're still not the finished article. And it's going to be very difficult to improve Liverpool Football Club as a club right now with regards to on-field players. So I want to address a comment, by the way, and I tried to read some post-stream comments as well that people make with the best of intent. And somebody said to me, oh look, I really enjoy what you guys do, but your streams are too long. Can you not do something 10 to 20 minutes, a bit of a kind of news roundup kind of thing? And I'm a little bit... I get where the gentleman comes from with the point that he made. And we used to do something called Bite-Sized Agenda, where I did like a 3 to 5 minute video of a little bit of a news roundup of what went on. But I want to explain to you guys a little bit more as to why that doesn't really happen, and why our streams are the way that they are right now, as in an hour plus long. So, the simplistic version of it is, it goes like this. One, when we set up the channel, we decided that everything, or almost everything that we will do, if we can do it, will be live. Meaning that it'll be interactive, giving us a chance to interact with our audience in real time, get to your answers, get to your comments, address things. If breaking news happens, anything like that, we're live. It's a bit more fun. It makes it a little bit more, not dangerous, but it puts you as a presenter a bit more on edge, because you know you can fuck up at any moment. And if you fuck up live, there is no edit button. So for me, I like to do it to challenge myself as well. But mainly we did it because it's an interactive thing, and it allows us to have that immediate, response from our audience. Because many of you guys that know me from many, many, many moons ago know that I used to be involved in podcasting. And podcasting kind of, let me cut my teeth in broadcasting to some extent, and made me a bit more comfortable in front of a microphone. But as good as podcasts are, and I still listen to them, you put them out into the world, you hope for the best, but you don't get any immediate feedback in them. And I find a lot of the same type of thing with pre-recorded YouTube content, particularly around football. It's very difficult to be interactive with something when you're not live. So that's number one. Number two is the simplicity of just setting up for a stream. So in order for me to do a stream whenever I do it, it takes around 40 minutes of preparation time either side of physically setting up the room to get ready to do a stream. So for instance, where I am right now, in my living room. So one, I've got to get my family out of the room for an hour and 15 minutes, which is a bit of an imposition to them, but they are supportive as they are. So that happens. Then I have to bring in a ring light, I have to bring in a green screen, I have to set up a microphone and a boom arm, I have to set up a monitor on a stand in front of me, I have to run cables across my room, put my laptop in, make sure the ring light's positioned at the right angle, make sure that I'm straight on in front of the webcam as well, make sure that the microphone is far enough away from the laptop that you guys don't pick up the humming of the laptop when it gets its processing power ramps up a little bit and the fan starts to kick in. So there's loads of reasons as to why we don't do short videos, but that's kind of making a very simplistic reason out of why. And mostly because I like the long term thing. I like an hour plus stream. It suits my personality a little bit more. The bite-sized agenda thing will be something I would do in a heartbeat if I didn't have to come in and set up every single day, 20 minutes before, 20 minutes after, and then kind of moving the family around the house. So if I had an office, or if I had a spare room or a shed or something, I could go out and do it. Yes. So I just want to give my explaining as to why our streams are as long as they are. So I hope... and I know it's cost us subscribers, by the way, as well, because a lot of people don't have the attention span to come in and watch something for an hour, 10 hour, 15 hour, 20 minutes. I get it. I mean, YouTube content probably should be somewhere between 8 to 12 minutes, something along those lines. Then maybe for something live, half an hour, something like. But like, I like to waffle, so there you go. Anyway, that's my explanation, just in case anybody ever wondered or anybody wanted to know why we don't do pre-recorded stuff, or why we waffle as long as we do. Liz said, I like the longer streams. You get to complete conversations and opinions. Gabriel said, your thoughts on Shaqiri. In my opinion, he's a baller. My thoughts on Sheridan Shaqiri are that when we purchased him, mate, it was a no-brainer. I mean, the relegation clause from Stoke, about 13 million, if my memory serves, is worth taking a punt on. Has he worked out? Fuck no, is my answer with regards to Sheridan Shaqiri. No, he hasn't worked out at all. So I see him 100% moving on this summer. Do you have any ill feelings towards him? No, of course not. He's done nothing to belittle our football club. He's done nothing to embarrass our football club, and he's always tried when he's been on the pitch. I will always give him that. I just don't think that he cuts it at a club the size of Liverpool on a consistent basis, and he picks up too many injuries for my liking personally. I've seen him linked with a move to Sevilla for around 25 million. Seen linked to move to Italy as well. Can't remember the club off the top of my head, but I do expect him to move on. I think he himself is looking for Champions League football, from what I've read, so that could limit the type of clubs that he'd be able to go to. And of course, with the financial climate as it is, our club's going to have a lot of money to throw around, and will somebody like Sheridan Shaqiri actually become a more valuable commodity in a weird way, because he's a player that you can get a little bit from in a few different positions at a very reasonable price, knowing how much Liverpool paid for him as well, taking that into account. So that's kind of my opinion on Shaqiri. I never thought he was going to work at Liverpool. I always thought he might be a decent impact substitute, and I know that I'm going to get some hate from this because there are a lot of people that are fans of Shaqiri's. I'm just not massively one of them, if I'm being honest. Thomas McGee said, a good long stream is better than no stream. I don't know how to take that one, mate. Kind of still feel like you wish we did the shorter streams. And look, I mean, don't get me wrong. From my point of view, coming on here doing a half-hour stream and going off would be nice and quick, but it would mean I don't get to read out anywhere near the amount of comments that I want to, and that's what this stream is about for us. It's about building a community of Reds. Will Shaqiri get a Premier League medal? Yes, he will, if he's made 5 appearances, Rob. I think that is the quota, if my memory serves me correct. You need to have made 5 Premier League appearances in order to be guaranteed a medal. Now, again, it's been a long time since we won this shit, Rob, so you're going to have to bear with me. I think clubs do get a few excess medals that they can give out to a few individuals, or the club can distribute them as and how they deem fit, I suppose, to some extent. But I do know that there is a number of games, and I think it's 5, that you have to play or take part in order to qualify for a medal, if my memory serves me correct. Brian said the hour plus live streams are what the channel is all about, and I agree, Brian, and that's why we do them. I mean, I couldn't imagine not being on here for an hour plus, getting to talk to you guys. It's an hour plus an hour 15 minutes of my day that I enjoy and I really look forward to. And I understand that if it's not for some people, and some people drop in and out, and that's cool as well, but it's you're never going to please everybody. But what I will say is there is enough good football content out there that if you want maybe a half-hour football stream, jump over, watch Mark in the United Stand for a while. I think Mark usually streams around the half-hour mark. He does some great stuff over there. If you want some pre-recorded stuff and things like that, I think Redmen might do some pre-recorded stuff, and many, many, many other channels. For me, I like the long form. And that probably comes from the podcasting, because I used to start the podcast and go, right, we're going to do 40-minute podcast, and we'd be an hour and 40 into it, and I'd be here going, whoops, yeah, we're still going. So there you are. But that's me. I like to waffle, as you know. Shaqiri's cross to Genie against Barcelona in the Champions League was worth his price alone, said Simon Says. Pranav said, I will honestly go into depression if we don't win this year. Mate, I mean, don't fucking belittle depression. Let me just put it that way. I mean, I know you don't mean it with ill intent, mate, but don't fucking belittle mental health, even as a joke, because it's not something I personally find funny, and I know a lot of people don't. But I also know you, my friend, and I know that you're not saying it to belittle it. So, just a bit more careful with the wording, perhaps. There are a lot of people right now who are overly sensitive, and this bald Irish twat is defo one of them people, mate. I can tell you that for sure. But I know you, mate, and I know you from experience, and that wasn't your intent. I can tell that for certain. Brian said the 2 goals to beat United were worth 10 million. Yeah, great. So we've got our money's worth. We're all agreed on that one. We've got our money's worth on Shaqiri. Now we can move him on and get in some cash. So I think we've actually turned you all around. I think you guys have inadvertently convinced yourselves that I'm right on this one. So, yay. Right, what else is there? Willian, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a conversation around Willian. I'm sure that you've all seen the rumours that we know his contract is up at Chelsea at the end of this season, whenever this season might end. And there's been a bit of a mention about him coming to Liverpool and a bit of a possibility about him becoming a Liverpool player. If I was to describe this situation in one word, nonsense is probably the word I was used. I do not in any way, shape or form see how Willian ends up at Liverpool. I just don't see it happening. I think we had interest in him before, that time where he was supposed to go to Spurs, then did a bit of a UE at the last minute and ended up at Chelsea. He was also flirted with Barcelona the last couple of seasons as well. I think they wanted to bring him over there. As a footballer, I mean, I've nothing but respect for Willian. I think he's an excellent footballer. I think his work rate is tremendous. I think he would do the type of stuff that Jurgen Klopp would demand of him, and he would do it with a smile on his face and do it very well. I just don't see it as one that is going to happen. I don't think Willian would do that to Chelsea. So I think if he is to move, I think Willian will probably move on and play in Spain or somewhere like that. That's just my opinion on it. But again, love to know what you guys think. Right, Willian isn't better than any of the front three, said Gabrielle. Bernadette Farrell said, I'd take Willian. Isn't it really weird? Say Willian, every part of me wants to say Will I Am. Every time I read it, I see Will I Am from the Black Eyed Peas. Every time, just because of the name. Yeah. So I'm really careful about reading that name, Willian, because I always want to say Will I Am. How am I keeping, said Colin McAteer? I'm really good, thank you, buddy. Really, really, really good. Look, ladies and gentlemen, again, if I can ask you a favour, we want to become one of the biggest broadcasters over on Hot Mic, and we want you guys to give it a try. Hot Mic is absolutely 100% free, by the way. I keep forgetting to mention that when I talk about it. And if you don't know what Hot Mic does, and I'm sure most of you do by now, let's say we're playing a match tomorrow, if only, and we're playing Manchester City, and you're watching it on your television, and you say, hey, I want to listen to Craig's commentary, or I want to listen to Neil Atkinson from the Anfield Raps commentary, or whoever it might be. So what Hot Mic allows you to do is you take your phone, you open it up, you open up the Hot Mic app, you find the game or the stream that you want. Hopefully it's Anfield Agenda. You'll click on that, and then a big sync button, a big round sync button will appear on your screen. You hit that button, it listens to your TV, and it knows at what point during the match you are at. So let's say you've paused it to go make yourself a cup of coffee, and you've come back in and press play again. Hot Mic knows this with their inbuilt system in their app, and it will take our commentary and blend it in to the time in the game that you are at, and then you lower down the volume in your television, and my commentary or whoever's commentary it is that you choose to try will go through your mobile device or your Bluetooth speaker or your tablet or whatever it is you want, and will replace the commentary on your television with true fan commentary from myself, from Terry from the Football Terrace, from Neil Atkinson, or whoever it might be, whoever you choose to turn in to watch. It is an amazing app. It is completely free, and all that I ask of you guys is, if you can't help us out with regard to the likes of super chats, super stickers and stuff like that, this is something you can do, and it's 100% free, but it does benefit us financially. All you have to do is download the app in the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store and put in the code that you see on the screen there right now, because when you download the app and open it for the first time, it'll ask you for your invite code. Just put in Anfield, all capital letters, just the one word, Anfield, and then hit that follow button on there as well, and you'll have done us a massive favour. You'll have basically bought me, what can I equate it to that would work? A can of Coke and a bag of Kyo's, and without having to put your hand in your pocket. The app itself to use is completely free. There's no ads on it as well. There's no pop-ups, no annoying bullshit. It is straightforward and as good as there is. And yeah, you'll get the same experience that you get on YouTube. Granted, our YouTube members will still have all their stuff on YouTube, like their emojis and all those cool little bits and pieces that you get over there. That isn't available on Hot Mic, so there is that. And I suppose it's just a decision of what you guys prefer. Right, what have we got? Ken Coastal Holiday, let's keep it up with that cool little super sticker, dude. Making me feel like doing a bit of exercise, but like not too much, Carol. Like, relax now. You know, Craig doesn't do too much exercise. Pranav said, Craigsy, I am not belittling. I honestly meant when I said I'll get into depression. I'm currently suffering from anxiety. Again, two different things. Anxiety and depression, mate. So even in trying to dig yourself out of your hole, you've kind of dug back into the hole, mate, because although I'm sincerely, and I'm suffering from anxiety myself, so I hear you, and I hope you get better. I think it's best we just leave it at that, Pranav, and say, I love you, mate. I hope that you're well. I hope that the anxiety that you're feeling eases, and I wish you nothing but the best, buddy. How about we just leave it at that and move on from there? Can't be the bag of Hyo, said Jack's Page. Damn right you can't, sir. Damn right you can't be the bag of Hyos. Right, what else? Willian, yes or no? Would you take him? And if not, where do you think he's going to go? Is he going to end up Hannah is to Inter Miami, said Jack's Page. I keep forgetting about Inter Miami, David Beckham's club. So where do you think Willian will end up if he doesn't end up at Liverpool, or if he doesn't renew his contract at Chelsea? Where do you see him going, ladies and gents? Then we'll get on to talk about the resumption of football, a little bit of stuff about Cara talking about the Reds, a little bit about Sadio Mane as well, and then we've got a little bit about Harvey Elliott. So I still have so much to get through on tonight's stream, which is why I keep saying to you guys, make sure to strap in, relax, enjoy, and if you have any funny shit that you want to talk about as well, please do get that in, because I could do with a good laugh as well. Right, what is it? There was something here on Cara. Right, I'll get to that in a minute. Right. Gabriel said, I'm sold, Craig, downloading it now. Thank you, buddy. That really means the world to us. It does. I think as things stand, we are the 5th biggest broadcaster currently on Hot Mic, at just over 1,600 followers, and that's only because of your kind love and support. So again, thank you. And again, if anybody wants to send super chats, super stickers, anything like that on YouTube, they are of course open as well. If you want, Joanne has put a perfect example into the chat there of all the cool emojis that come with becoming a member of the channel. Membership's just 99p. There's a new member right now as we speak. Al Mitch, welcome to Anfield Agenda FC, buddy. Great to have you with us, and thank you very much for signing up. Welcome to the emojis as well. Oh, I don't even have them fucking emojis. How annoying is that? I mean, I can't even use a picture of my own bald head. So, yes, thank you all for signing up. What have we got? Blue, thank you very much for the super chat. Said, I have split personalities, and to be honest, I'm glad you're back, and these streams are a good hour to occupy me. And then says thanks. Well, there's absolutely no need to thank me, Blue, because as I've said many times before, mate, anything that we give out to you guys in any way you benefit, I tell you what, I benefit just as much back, because the love, support and happiness that you guys bring me makes my day as well. So I'm glad to hear that the streams make you a bit more positive and make you a bit happier. That's great to hear, but I just want you to know as well that what you guys do for me helps me out massively a lot as well. So thank you, and love to you and your family. I was linked with Barcelona all last year, said Brian Morrissey, and it would seem strange, Brian, wouldn't it? At a time where Barcelona are maybe a bit financially, I don't want to say crippled, because that's not the right word, but money's not as easy to come by for Barcelona as it used to be. And a player that they were already after is available on a free. It would seem a bit weird if they didn't kind of try and make a move for him. Yeah, so I get where you're coming from, Brian. It's a point well made. Right, what else have we got? We need a good backup fullback, said Marcus. Who would you rather have? Mane, Werner and Salah, or Mane, Firmino and Mbappe? Option B, Owen. I've said this a few times, mate. There isn't many people in the world who I would swap Mohamed Salah for, but the thoughts of getting Kylian Mbappe I would sacrifice Mohamed Salah and sell him if we had to. Yes, I'm not even going to lie about it, mate. So I think most Liverpool fans, if we're being honest, would probably swap Salah for Kylian Mbappe. Or at least I think most Liverpool fans would. I know I certainly do. But I want Salah to stay. Don't get me wrong. I don't want any change at our club. But you gave me an option and I would choose option B because Kylian Mbappe is an absolute superstar. Ian is in. How are you? Ian said, evening, just in from work. How are you and the family doing? We're doing really well, thank you, Ian. All the better for having your good self in, sir. Just a reminder as well, ladies and gentlemen, their next stream after tonight won't be till Monday. Gonna take the weekend off and chill and just have some fun with the family and relax because I've been trialling some, I won't say trialling new medication for, as in it's a new medication, but I'm on some new medication, as I'm sure you guys seen the video a few weeks back, the thank you and goodbye video. I've been on new medication since that, so I'm trying to balance out on that. So sometimes I might be a little bit delayed in my thought process. Sometimes I might, in my head, seem like I'm a little bit slower, a little bit faster than previous. So it's why I'm taking a couple of extra days off over the weekend just to make sure that the new medication that I'm on and the stuff I'm doing with the psychologist begins to take effect, and you know I can slowly ease my way back into a more regular amount of streaming. So I hope you understand where I'm coming from with that one. I'm being a little bit selfish here. Cool shirt tonight, Craig said. Cape Town Muslim. Just between you and I, mate. And I know it's just you and I in here. It's one of Turkey's finest. It's one I bought when I was away, mate. It's one of Turkey's genuine fakes, Cape Town Muslim. And I love the colours, which is why I bought it. I wish I could get these type of colours in my local sports store made for Adidas stuff, because you know I'm an Adidas fanboy. And this even has like the rubbery effect badge that the new Liverpool shirt looks like it's going to have from Nike. Although, of course, this being Adidas. But yeah, it is. This is one of the probably only fake tops that I own. And the only reason I own it is because of the colour, mate. And because I just couldn't walk past it. I had to get it. So, yeah, I wish it was real. But look, hey, I said I'll always be honest. And it's one of Turkey's finest. Or as they like to call it over there, a genuine fake. Sam, how are you, sir? Thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Not been able to catch a stream lately. Been stupidly busy decorating. Missed your big bald head. Hope you and the family are well, mate. You're a better man than I, Sam. I put it that way. I mean, God, I wish I could break out the old paintbrush or something. I just can't get motivated, Sam, mate. I can't get motivated to do a damn thing, buddy. I mean, I'm waiting for a refund from a holiday that was obviously cancelled, and I want to buy a bit of fitness equipment with that because my fat ass needs to lose a little bit of weight. And unfortunately, one of the side effects of the new medicine that I'm on can be weight gain. Although, like, I'm not saying that it's definitely going to happen and blah, 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 but I need to take that into consideration. So, yeah, I'm hoping to get a decent piece of exercise equipment and get motivated. So, good that you're keeping occupied, Sam. It is important, mate, during these times that we try and keep some type of a structure to our day, buddy. So, well in. Thank you for the super chat. And I'm glad you were able to drop in, mate. And love to you and the family as well. Al Mitch said, great to have your content back. Get some Diet Cokes on me. And sent us a £10 super chat. Thank you for that one. Look, I've got one here already. You've already got me one. It's here, Al. This is your one, mate. Thank you. Appreciate it, buddy. We have a flamenco fan in. I don't know if you were here to troll, mate, but you were very welcome in. I mean, I have nothing but respect for your wonderful football club. You've taken one World Club Championship from us and vice versa. So welcome into the chat. It is lovely to see you, and I hope that life is treating you well in your part of the world as well. Right, what else have we got? Ooh, I didn't know that. Thomas McGee said the Liverpool store online is having a big sale. Interesting. What would you do in this type of situation, ladies and gents? So would you jump on there and buy up a load of stuff, or would you be like me and think, well, it's going to be Nike next year, so like why would I buy more New Balance stuff if it's going to be Nike going forward? That's kind of how I'd feel, even though I love a lot of the New Balance Liverpool stuff. I probably won't buy it, mate, just because of the New Balance. Unless, of course, you know, they do stuff that is just Liverpool branded, and in which case they may well get my money, mate. A lot of people saying happy Ramadan. Is it Ramadan? And excuse my ignorance, please, on this, because I don't know. I'm not a religious person. I mean, I was I suppose born and raised is very stretching it, but I'm supposed to be a Catholic. Let's put it that way. But I'm definitely not a practicing Catholic. I'm somebody who actually, personally, religion's not my thing. I don't believe in religion. I don't believe in organised religion. But I respect everybody else's belief too, and I wish that I had belief and faith in a higher power. But with regards to Ramadan, okay, so please explain. If we have anybody that wants to help Craig out on this one, yeah, please do help me out. I bet you're big into haggling in Turkey. I'm not as good as my wife, believe it or not, cast strength. My wife, mate, is pretty shit hot when it comes to haggling. And yeah, I usually just end up just not budging. I usually just start at one number and just don't budge. Whereas, you know, she's a bit better at these things than I. I'm just nah. Not doing jack shit. It's this amount or it's nothing, mate. And he's like letting me walk off and I'm still walking down the road. But nah, she's better than me. I don't give her much credit for stuff, but yeah, she's got more patience than I have. Right, anyway. What have we got? This is there. It's okay, Craig, said Yusuf. Thank you, mate. I appreciate it. But I'm still genuinely intrigued. I'm always open to learn on these things. Jack Ryan sent us a £20 super chat, Jack. Thank you. Or 20 € super chat. Thank you so much, mate. You were so kind. Really appreciate that. So Ramadan started yesterday. Right, here's what I know about Ramadan, by the way. And again, excuse me if I'm wrong. So, if I'm correct, Ramadan is the start of a holy month that you do not eat from sundown to sun up, or sun up to sundown, excuse me. And I believe, from what I remember, and I've spoken to some people about this over the years, it is to help people of your religious belief understand what it feels like to be deprived or to feel common sense with poor people. Is that correct, or am I getting this completely wrong? Again, I'm just trying to learn here as I go, so please don't hold this against me. I'm genuinely intrigued and trying to learn. I think it is about trying to live like or as poor people may have, or suffer alongside your fellow human beings. Is that right? Am I right in something there? Am I completely off? I don't know. But that's what I think I remember as well. And doesn't it end as well with a feast, much like many other religions? Again, sorry if this got a bit off topic, but I'm genuinely intrigued because I like to educate myself in as much as I can. Craig, if I go and watch on YouTube and says you streamed yesterday and there are no views. Yesterday with no views? I don't know. That seems weird, mate. YouTube. Open up YouTube right now. Looking at streams. Shows me that I didn't stream yesterday. No, definitely not. And I can't say anything show but my end, mate, that did say I streamed yesterday, so I'm not sure. Right, sorry, let's go back over to YouTube for hopefully some answers. Description says the wrong hot mic code. No, it doesn't. We've two hot mic codes, mate. We can use either Anfield, which is all capital letters, or we can use Anfield Agenda, all word, all capital letters, NG_U. I can't remember the rest of your name, mate, because it was quite long. So 1 second. Where are you, my friend? Where was this gentleman? Where are you gone? Where are you gone, my friend? Oh yes, NG_U Assassin. We have two different sign-up codes for Hot Mic, mate. We've decided to use the easier one because I'm a moron who should have started doing this from the start. But yes, the sign-up code can be just Anfield, all capital letters, all one word, or it can be Anfield Agenda. But look, just go with the one on the screen because it's easier. But good spot. Right, what else we got? It's a Muslim festival. They don't eat sundown till sun up. What else is there? Craig, you're spot on about Ramadan, said Subi. Thank you for that, mate. I really appreciate it. I'm glad my memory served me well for once. Usually I forget these type of things. Okay, what else is there? We also try to get closer to God by reading the Holy Book and praying extra, said Lolsby. Thank you for that, mate. I appreciate you giving me a bit more information. Isn't there something else? There's something else, isn't there? Isn't there excuse my ignorance here, but isn't there a feast or a named feast or something to either start or end Ramadan, if my memory's correct? How's my son coping? Said Thomas McGee. He's not a bother over, mate. He's taking this in a stride. He's flying around. I mean, yeah, he's really good, thank you. Appreciate you asking. Right, what else we got? Craig, are you worried about the fact that the Dutch league is cancelled? Yeah, I was going to touch on that actually, Osbeeb. Yes and no. So, from what my memory serves me correct is, 3 of the top 4 teams in the Dutch league had pushed for it to be cancelled. And it seems like the league has been null and voided if, what I've been led to believe is true. How UEFA ratify that and how they work out European positions, I guess that remains to be seen. So we'll have to wait and see. Eid, thank you, Brian. Eid is indeed what I was trying. And don't you say Eid Mubarak? Is that correct? Is that the respectful thing to say? So if somebody is if Eid is taking place, you say Eid Mubarak. Is that right from my memory? Again, I'm trying to be respectful. Again, just like if this was a Catholic thing and I'm supposed to be a Catholic, I would, I'd be trying to figure out these things. So it's always good to try and educate yourself. Anyway, with back to the Eredivisie thing, I'm wondering, and if anybody knows the answer to this, please do let me know. How are UEFA dealing with this? I mean, how are they going to dish out the old Champions League spots with regards to the Eredivisie? And that moves me on to something that I wanted to talk about with Jamie Carragher mentioned, and he was talking about the idea of UEFA places being awarded on what UEFA deem as sporting merit. And Jamie Carragher spoke on this and said, a lot of people are given reasons why football can't start. The Bundesliga, another huge league, they're ahead of us in how their government have dealt with the situation that they're in. So they're always going to be a month or so ahead of us. But it does put a spring in the step for those who want football to return. I actually think that UEFA came out with yesterday about the Champions League places and European qualification being decided on sporting merit. I'd actually love the Premier League to come out and say that. Now, what I want to know is, what do they mean by sporting merit? Are we talking about the coefficiency ranking of clubs here? Is that what UEFA mean when they say sporting merit? So, the history of how far or how well your club has done in Europe over the past 5, 10, whatever amount of seasons it is, they work out the coefficient rankings of clubs. In which case, I believe Leicester would be fucked. Leicester would be in the Champions League, even though they're probably going to qualify. So, at a guess, I'd say it would be Liverpool, Manchester City, Chelsea United, or Liverpool, Manchester City, Arsenal United, or, any 4 of those 5, if you went by this system of, they say sporting merit, but what I'm talking about right now is coefficient ranking. So, or does it mean that they leave it to each individual FA or each individual league to decide who they want to take the European places? Will that mean that we'll end up at a point where we're talking about maybe that Duckworth-Lewis type system, or you end the season and you work out an average points per game and add that on to the rest of your games, and then that works out where everybody's position ends? I don't know. It's still all up in the air, but it does lead me in nicely to talk about something that brings us all hope, and that there was the title of this stream was about, and that is that the Bundesliga are hoping to resume football again on the 9th of May, albeit behind closed doors, which, look, let's be honest, is not to be unexpected. But that will need approval of the German government before anything can take place. Now, this really fills my heart with happiness and joy, along with, of course, a sense of anxiety and fear, because you need to make sure that those people that are taking part in the games, whether it be camera crew, match officials, journalists, players, whoever the hell it is, referees, that they're all safe and that they're not putting a strain on the healthcare system in that country. But we'll get to a point where we say, right, Germany believe they can do it. So Germany believe that they can host the games, that there isn't too much strain on the system, and that the testing can be done, that everybody can be safe. That's brilliant. That fills me full of hope. And if German football kicks off on the 9th, then I shall be doing watch-alongs of German games, ladies and gentlemen, from the 9th of May, because as I've told you before, I'm a football junkie and I cannot wait for it to get back. So I know I've spoken quite a bit here, but I want to know what your thoughts are on 1, the Eredivisie situation, 2, what Cara was talking about on what UEFA came out and spoke about sporting merit determining European places, and on the Bundesliga perhaps being back in action on May the 9th. I know we've been through a lot there in the last couple of minutes, but please feel free to pick either one or any one of them and just give us your thoughts on it. Right, what have we got? Somebody give me a count on Hot Mic. What are we up to on there as well? And don't forget, if you are on there, please do hit that share button on Hot Mic, ladies and gents. Right, one thing that worries me is that one of our fullbacks got hurt. We've got Milner, but that's about it. Said Marcus de Paulo. And again, the reason that I'm gone off the UEFA coefficient thing here, ladies and gents, to allow you time to get your comments in. So I will circle back around, don't worry. So, in regards to Marco's comment, sort of do have some cover, buddy. I mean, left back would worry me a little bit more, and you said we have Jimmy Milner there, and he doesn't ideally like to play at left back, but at right back we've young Neco Williams, who is coming through and is shown to be a tremendous prospect. So between himself and Kylian Hoover, and the fact that if needed Fabinho can play at right back, I think on that side of the pitch we're okay. Now, when it comes to the left-hand side, it does become a little bit more tricky because, as you've rightly said, James Milner, as we like to call him, can drop in there and play at left-back if Robbo needs a rest. But I'd still love us to go and get the kid Saka from Arsenal, whose contract has just over a year left to go and hasn't yet signed a renewal with Arsenal. So for me, I agree that we do need cover in that position. I think we will be looking at it. I mean, we've still got Adam Lewis at the club. And other young prospects coming through that maybe will fill that void. I know Larouci, as an example, impressed massively last pre-season. So, I don't know, mate. It's tough, the left-back situation. For me, if Saka is available, go get him. That would be what I would do. I know Saka ideally doesn't see himself as a left-back, but look, we don't really play a left-back as an actual left-back, more as an auxiliary left-winger. So, for me, I mean, Saka will be the answer, in my humble opinion there. Right, back over to YouTube. Again, thank you very much for everyone who's joined us on there. And thank you for those super chats and super stickers so far. And for the members who have signed up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you are enjoying the stream. What did I forget? 1,608 followers on Hot Mic, said Joanne. So, 42. If we can get to 1650, ladies and gentlemen. So, 42 of you guys haven't yet downloaded that app. Please do so. And put in the code on the screen. I'm weird. I like round numbers. That's why I went for like 1650. And plus I was being a bit greedy as well, if I'm being honest. Instead of saying 1610, I thought, why not reach for the stars, Craig, and go for 1650. Again, there is a link in the description for the Hot Mic app where you can just search for it in the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Every time I say the Google Play Store, I feel a little bit of hatred towards you guys. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I'm going to be open about it. I'm an Apple fanboy. When I say the Google Play Store, I feel some like hate and some sympathy for everyone that has a Samsung. Like my wife, for instance, has a Samsung Galaxy phone, and I hate to bitch a bit over it. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I love her with all my heart, but the fact she's using a Samsung, I mean, will it lead to divorce? I can't say for certain, but can I rule it out? No, I can't. I mean, she's using Samsung. How can I go out in public and say, hi, this is my wife Sabrina, these are my wonderful children, and yeah, she uses a fucking Samsung? I mean, So anyway, if you are one of those people, you can still download the Hot Mic app. We've been generous enough, and along with Hot Mic app as well, to allow you non-Apple users to download that app as well. And sympathies to all of you, because I mean, Apple's the way forward. Soz. I'm going to take a minute now, just drop my head, just for all you Android users. There you go. Right. There was a moment of silence for all you Android users out there. The way forward, ladies and gentlemen. The way forward. Right. Jack Ryan said, can't spend it in college on rolls and Lucas Hayes. Another super chat, Jack. Thank you, mate. Wow. That's so generous of you, my friend. Thank you so much. And you know what? By not spending it on rolls and Lucas Hayes, you're also not, you're saving on the calories, mate. So, like, this is like a fitness regime as well as you giving a super chat, Jack. So you're putting goodwill into the world, mate. You're not putting extra calories down your throat, which means let's exercise. It's a win-win here. I love it, Jack. I love this relationship we have going here, buddy. More of this. Keep it going. But most importantly, mate, don't spend what you haven't got. I don't want anybody to ever put themselves under financial pressure for a little old us here on Anfield Agenda. But I do appreciate the support, buddy. Right, do you think Willian is good enough to play for us? Yes, Fernando, I do. I just don't think that he will play for us, but I think he can fit in to our system seamlessly. Much like I've said about Son before from Spurs, I think that Willian has the work rate. He has the what's the word I'm looking for here? The not adaptability. He can play in a multitude of positions. Is what I'm trying to say. This is the medication. This is what I'm talking about. Half step slower, trying to think of these things through as I'm on this new medicine. He's not as Brian Aubameyang here. Versatile is the word I'm looking for. Yeah, or he is as versatile as Klopp likes with players. So, but I still don't think he'll come. I don't know. Brian made a good point earlier on. I mean, if Barcelona were so interested in him and trying to get him for a fee, then why not go back and try and get him for free? So, there you go. You're really mustard on that kid, Saka, Craig. I am, but a lot of it, Tom, comes down to the fact, mate, that he is running down towards the tail end of his contract. So, I mean, although whether a transfer fee is involved or whether it would involve compensation, if we were to wait 1 year for his contract to run out, Arsenal would, I think, be due compensation because of they've educated and trained the kid as well. So, but he looks like a baller, mate. I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't mind getting him, but all his back up. Ronnie60 said, how can we improve? It's hard, mate, but Werner will do it for me. Cheaper tickets as well. I mean, the ticketing thing is definitely a conversation to be had, Ronnie. It is difficult to improve the team, though. You're right, mate. Werner gives us options. He allows us to rotate a little bit as well and gives us a different dimension to our attack. Now, let's not forget the Timo Werner, whilst we think of him as an out-and-out centre-forward, can play in a wide position and has done so earlier on in his career. So, again, that versatility that we spoke about earlier on, about Willian and others, is something that Jurgen Klopp does look for in a player and would get with Timo Werner. I just can't see it not happening. I'm already wondering what number the dude's going to wear. I'm not going to lie. Right, David Farman said, Craig, we have to finish the season. Any alternatives will be unjust. You cannot start a new season until you finish the present one. And I am with you on that, David, 100%. Like, we keep talking about the sporting integrity and the integrity of the league, and they're easy words to throw out there. And yes, it's easy for me as a Liverpool fan to sit here and say we've got to finish the league because Liverpool have to win the league title. Fair enough. Let me try and push that bias to one side, as hard as it might be. There's loads more stuff than just Liverpool that needs to be figured out here. We already spoke about the European places earlier on in the stream. You've got to look further down. You've got to wonder about relegation. You've got to wonder about clubs that are receiving parachute payments from previous relegations who may well be looking to, well, they will be looking to, but may well have an opportunity to get themselves back up into the Premier League. I'm thinking about the likes of Fulham here. And I've said to you guys before, Fulham fought really hard to keep Alexander Mitrovic there and make sure they could afford to pay his wages and stuff to try and get back up into the Premier League. What happens with Leeds? What happens with West Brom? What happens in League 1 with relegation and promotion? What happens in League 2? There are just so many uncertainties that come with not finishing the league or coming to an absolute decision on it. I mean, I just can't see how voiding it ever becomes an option. I never could from the very start, and I still can't to this day understand how voiding it could be a viable option, because what do you do moving forward? And how many fucking lawsuits will be opened up because of it? It's it's a real noodle scratcher for sure. And I think the Bundesliga on May the 9th may give us some good grounds for optimism moving forward. I mean, we don't know. And there's no point in me sitting here lying and saying to you, I know for a fact that the league will be completed, and I know for a fact that Liverpool will win it, and I know for a fact it will break 101 points. I don't know any of that, but I'm extremely hopeful and extremely optimistic that all of that will happen. And as each day goes by, and as the language that I hear used from UEFA and the FA becomes more and more, or at least consistently definitive about finishing the league no matter when, and the integrity of the league and the integrity of football, I think that does all have to come into effect. I mean, let's give you an example. It's a really simplistic one, and one that I could be talking about my arse about, because what the hell do I know? But let's say we go ahead and finish this season, and it takes until the end of August until the season's finished, right? So what do you do with next season then? I don't know. But what I will say is, at least what you would know is, when you start next season, whether that be in the Premier League, the Championship, League 1, League 2, Serie A, the Bundesliga, wherever it might be, you'll know we're all starting from a level playing field. So if at the start of the season everybody knows that it's a reduced amount of games, or everybody knows that we're not going to have a domestic cup competition, one of them, or everybody knows that, I don't know, whatever decision they come to, at least you're starting from a level playing field where everybody knows what they've signed up for when they start the season. Right now, we all signed up for a 38 game season. We all signed up for it to play everybody home and away. We all signed up that the top four clubs finishing in Champions League spots. Fifth place goes into the UEFA League, or the Europa League, and then you've got the FA Cup and other spots for other reasons. 3 teams get relegated, 3 teams get promoted, yada yada yada. Everybody knew what they signed up for. So for me, that's what the integrity part is about. You've agreed to it. We've all agreed to it. Let's get that done, and then we can talk about moving forward from there and how you go about further seasons. If it involves maybe shortening 2 seasons, I don't know. I'm not intelligent enough to figure this out. But what I'm saying is, at least everybody will know where they're starting from then. And at the start of the season, the clubs can work out their budgets in such a way. They can work out, how many points they might need to stay up or go down in such a way. For loads of other bits and pieces as well, they can work out how much they could spend on infrastructure. Loads of things that us normal folk just don't think about. I think you can do that once you know before you start. It's a lot easier to do it, in my humble opinion, then than it is now. And that's without the television revenue, by the way. That's without the money that Sky, BT, beIN Sport, NBCSN over in America, or whoever else, your Supersport, or whoever else has bought rights to the Premier League. Before we even begin to think about what they're owed, or how much would have to be refunded to them for the games that wouldn't be shown. So, yeah, it's really, really difficult. And I'm just glad I'm not making the decisions on this one. Right, what else have we got? Brian said Willian wants 3 years. Chelsea won't give him that, neither would Liverpool. Rabadan, thank you for the super chat, mate. Very kind of you indeed. You are always extremely generous, my friend. Said it will not be voided. One thing is top 4, another is for promotion to the Premier League. Void is a financial disaster for West Brom and Leeds, among others. Yes, as well as being completely fucking unfair as well, mate, because both of them are pretty clearly going to be coming up to the Premier League, if and when we finish the games. And I know people are going to throw it at us, and people are going to say you just want the league to finish because you're a Liverpool fan. But, well, yeah, of course. But even if you push aside my Liverpool bias, everything else that we've spoken about there still has to be accounted for. And it's easy for a club that's one place above relegation to go, oh yeah, not avoid the entire season. That makes sense. Of course that makes sense. Because just like I've a vested interest in saying finish it, you have a vested interest in saying void it because your club stays up. Only my way has an actual fucking conclusion, whereas the other way, where I've heard some people spouting on about voiding it, will lead to nothing but litigation, financial hardship, and just the courts being overrun. The Court of Arbitration for Sport, who already have enough cases on a backlog, one of them of course including Manchester City's appeal of their 2-year ban from UEFA competitions. I don't even know where to start with all that shit, ladies and gents. There's just too much. Right, has your daughter had a birthday? If not, tell her she has 37,600. No, her birthday is the first week of May, mate. So no, she has not had her birthday just yet. But thank you for remembering, Liam. That's very kind of you, buddy. And she's going to be 16 as well, which frightens the shit out of me, because that means that my daughter in Ireland could then legally drive a moped. Like, legally drive a fucking moped. I know in America and in other countries she could legally drive a car. Over here you'd have to be 17 for that, but 16 for a moped. And yeah, that frightens the shit out of me, mate. I'm not gonna lie. But Daddy's kept her off the pole, so there is that. Do you know what I mean? I mean, as a dad, one of my jobs is to keep my daughter off the pole, and I've done that so far. So I mean, I'm winning in that regard. That's a joke, by the way, for anybody out there. Anybody pole dancing their way through college, you've got nothing but my love and respect. And you dance your ass off, and you get that glitter, and you do your thing, and get your degree, and earn that money, and use what God gave you. Because you know what I mean? If these moves could earn me money, get my ass on a pole, and I'd be up and down it. Probably be down it a lot more than I'd be up it, though, to be fair. There wouldn't be too much climbing of it going on at all, to be honest. I mean, Alright, look, let's be honest about it. It'd be a lot of slipping on the ground and me falling and looking like a fool, probably dislocating something, but it wouldn't matter if people were still throwing them dollar bills at me. Do you know what I mean? To get myself through college. Now, as an update, I did look into the fact that you fuckers never started the GoFundMe for my Volvo XC90, and I've started to understand why now, because Volvo XC90s used to be €56,000, when I thought to myself, well, of course, Craig, €56,000 sounds entirely reasonable for your YouTube subscribers to buy you a car with. That's entirely reasonable. But now I've noticed that the value has gone up to about 90 grand for Volvo XC90, so cancel the GoFundMe, ladies and gentlemen, because it's too much. 90 grand for a Volvo. I just refuse to drive it. So if it's ordered and it's on its way already, then I'm sorry, you're going to have to send it back to the dealership, because I just can't bring myself to drive a car that is that expensive. It's just ridiculous. So I'll stick with the 2011 Renault Megane that I have right now. So we'll just cancel that. So just cancel the Volvo XC90 is all I'm saying. Craig, this is my first time on your channel since you've come back. I'm an Arsenal fan, love your channel, and I'm glad you've not quit. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, Devon. I appreciate you taking the time to come in, mate, and write such kind words. And love to you and your family, buddy. Great to have you with us. Boya is in the chat. Anthony, anything for us on Leicester City? Anything coming up at your end? Any good transfer news? Coutinho? Huh? Yes? No? Maybe? And what happens to goal records? Anthony's made a really good point. What happens to goal records as well if it's voided? And what about the goal bonuses, Boya? So like let's say Jamie Vardy banging in goals for fun this season, Aubameyang banging in goals for fun. What happens to their goal bonuses if the season's voided? What happens to appearance bonuses? So many things that, you know, we haven't even thought about. Alan mate said never drive a Volvo. I've had a couple of Volvos over the years, mate, and I have to say I've enjoyed owning them when I've had them. They're both estates, both quite old, but, you know, they are what they are. I'm a real old man when it comes to cars, mate. Like, I was never into boy racer mobiles or anything. I'm always like slow, steady and safe. That's kind of me when it comes to cars. Tom Bowen said 90G, that will have to go on the mantelpiece if you buy it. Mate, I can't imagine. I just refuse to spend that much money on a fucking depreciating asset, mate. It's just nonsense. I mean, imagine, yeah, like, how would you go out and drop 90G on a car and then know that by the time you wave bye-bye to the dealer and drive off the lot, it's probably already down 10 grand. At least. It's madness. So yeah, some piece of advice that somebody gave me before, and I think it was Hughesy. So Hughesy, I don't know if you ever do still watch, mate, or might tune in. Shout out to you on this one. You gave me a great piece of advice before, and it probably sounds simple, but it is true. You buy something that appreciates in value, i.e. a house, and you lease something that depreciates in asset and value, i.e. a car. So if you're in America, for example, and I'm not going to pretend to understand the system of renting or leasing cars in America, buying a car means you've got an asset that's only going to go one way, and that's down in value. Whereas if you lease it, yeah, you're hiring it, but you know what you're getting, you get to give it back. Buy a house, you can add to the house, the price of the house goes up. I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but it's a piece of advice that I've always remembered, and I do thank Husey for giving me that advice, because it is a pretty good piece of advice. Have you thought of the quiz, mate? Said Ronnie. I would, Ronnie, but I would assume that you would all be dirty, cheating bastards, and that's the absolute honest truth of it, mate. I mean, if we were to do a quiz on here, I don't trust a single one of you fuckers not to be cheating bastards, because I know I would be, and I know definitely Connor would be. So we could do a quiz. We could do something where maybe we get two different people on at a time for a little bit of a quick fire quiz where we have you on video so we can see that you're not cheating. We can definitely do something like that for sure. And any more ideas that you guys have, by the way, for types of content or anything like that, if you're in our Discord group, please do let us know in there as well. If you don't know what our Discord group is, it's for our Anfield Agenda Ultra members, which is a $4.99 membership. We have an offline Discord group where we go and chat about stuff as well. And basically, I share loads of embarrassing pictures about myself growing up with bowl haircuts and shit like that. Still looking for a manager for the Anfield Agenda Instagram and Twitter account. So if you happen to be shit hot, and I mean you've got to be shit hot at running Instagram and Twitter accounts, then please do get in contact if you've any interest in that, because I couldn't be arsed. with social media outside of this, because I've made a pledge to myself after my little meltdown of only doing things that bring me love, happiness and joy, and chatting to you guys does that. So yeah, I'm going to stick to doing this and the social media aspect of it, even though I know technically YouTube, Hot Mic is social media. It's not Twitter and Instagram, and I couldn't be arsed, if I'm being quite honest, because one, I just get angry all the time when I go on Twitter and I end up ranting at people, and two, I haven't got the time for it. So if we can unearth a social media manager who will come in and look after both, and I know a lot of people are going to be jumping on the keyboards now going me and me, but I mean genuinely, like, we will look into it, make sure that, you know, the people would have to be good at what they're doing, because it is our reputation on the line at the same time. So, plus, if anybody else wants to come over and offer man a big lump of wage for the account, then we can talk about that as well. Yes, I did talk about myself in the third person there, by the way. Yes, I did. Joe Exotic, mate, look, you were fun for the first 5 minutes a few days ago when you came in with your Tiger King stuff, which is a great show, but don't start spamming, mate, because none of us are in the humour for your nonsense. Do you think Jurgen Klopp will sign another contract with Liverpool after 2023? I think he's already contacted till 2024, if I'm not mistaken, Freddie. I think he's got 4 years on his deal. I don't know. It's a difficult one. And I suppose the question that comes next after that, Freddie, is who comes in to replace him? I mean, do you go with Stevie G, who would have to prove himself? Do you go with a Pep Linders, who, you know, will have worked with Jurgen Klopp for those years? Or do you go for somebody like maybe me or Maurizio Pochettino, something like that? I don't know. It's a good question, though. The Burnt Toast said you're such a good streamer. Thank you, mate. Well, you said God, which, I mean, it's also could technically be correct. But thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Joanne said, if I was shit hot on Twitter and Instagram, I would have jumped at the chance. Yeah, I'm terrible, Joanne. That's why, I mean, I built the Twitter account up to like 35k when it was my own account, but like these days I'm just too angry and ranty, and I just end up moaning at people, and people just tell me to fuck off. So yeah, don't need that. If you'd done a video and quiz, I'd break the camera at your end, said Ian. Yeah, I know, they'd be cheating everywhere, Reno. Definitely cheating. Oh, you mean as in with like breaking it with ugliness, as in, you know, too ugly breaking a mirror, in which case don't put yourself down, Ian. What's your thoughts about Jurgen Klopp maybe signing Timo Werner? I hope, and I'm almost certain that it will happen, is what my thoughts are, Freddie. I mean, I've no inside information whatsoever. I never claim to have any, but like all signs point to Liverpool signing Timo Werner. Whether we trigger the release clause or whether we work it a different way, like we touched on earlier on in the stream, I don't know. But I think we will get Timo Werner. I'm not sure of many other things in this window, whether we get Houssem Aouar, whether we go and look at Kai Havertz, Jadon Sancho, Cantwell we spoke about before, Saka maybe for the left back situation, what happens with the backup goalkeeper. I don't know all of that stuff, but what I do know is that I'm almost certain we will get Timo Werner, and I can't see where else he's going to go if he doesn't go to Liverpool. When you talk about Barcelona, they're flat ass broke. Talk about Real Madrid, instability. Why would you go there when you might not know who your manager is going to be in a year's time, the way they chop and change so much? So with Liverpool, he gets a manager who he looks up to, a club that are the best club in the world, inarguably, because we hold the fucking trophy. He gets to play in front of the best fans in the world, and he gets to play for his national compatriot manager who would help him ease into the league. So I think it's a win-win all round on that one. What about a wife, Craig? Buy or lease? Definitely buy. Definitely buy, mate, because here's why. Because you get lucky and you can con your wife, like I did, into thinking that she's actually getting something better than she was getting, and then there's no way out for her other than divorce. So in that sense, I would definitely say buy. And in which case, I mean, like, hope and pray you get lucky like I did and get somebody who is too good for your ass anyway. Right, what else have we got? Opinions on the Ireland national team. Yep, third team. Definitely. And they're definitely national. Yeah. Ireland national team. Full of nationality. No, in all honesty, I don't think we qualify for the Euros. Whenever them games may take place because they're away from home and stuff. I don't think we will. I'm glad that we are going to see a manager who's proved himself in the League of Ireland get another opportunity to do so. I was happy when Brian Kerr got the job many moons ago as well, after the great work that he did both with Pats in the League of Ireland as well as numerous other bits and pieces and the underage national team. So to see Mick McCarthy move on the way he did, I mean, it must have been a difficult enough conversation, but I do think it is the right time, and I do think I think it's worth a roll of the dice. I mean, the FAI is a fucking shambles. I'm going to say that. A fucking shambles from start to finish. And the whole thing needs to be ripped up and started again. The FAI is not fit for purpose, in my humble opinion. They have just fucked around far too much. And having had some experience in, going to games and from a journalist perspective and stuff like that, it's fucking amateur hour a lot of the time, mate, I can tell you. And there's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say jobs for the boys, but there's a lot of closed circles in the industry within the FAI that I didn't like one bit when I was in there. I mean, one experience I had, I was in the bathroom going for a pee, and I heard a fella in the stall talking to another guy, and he was saying, "Did you see the fucking food today, mate? It's getting to the fucking point where I'm having to bring ham sandwiches from fucking home when I'm going to cover a game. It didn't used to be like this, mate. You used to get a proper spread out there. And now what is there? A fucking curry, some coffee and some fucking tea. And I'm having to bring ham sandwiches from home. What type of shit is this?" And I'm sitting here thinking, well, one, you're here to fucking work, mate, and write for whatever newspaper it is you're writing for. Not to be fed like a fucking king, and the FAI is on its knees financially anyway, so shut the fuck up. But that's kind of where I am with regards to the FAI. I have no faith in them. They didn't capitalise well enough on Italia 90 when Ireland was, football fever was at its absolute highest. They've never invested enough in the youth system in the country. My entire time growing up playing football, I got changed in a fucking rusty porta cabin, whereas I always looked at the local GAA clubs who had, good changing ground facilities with showers and all that stuff, because the GAA was a much better run organisation, whereas the FAI at one point, I believe, were, putting the players and their wives and stuff back in lower levels of at least, let's say, economy or premium economy, while the fucking bigwigs were up the front of the plane in first class on the way. I mean, I don't get it. And I backed Roy Keane when he had his little strop on that thing as well. Whatever you might think of him, Roy Keane was used to getting treated properly at Manchester United, and the players getting the right type of tools to go and do a job that they needed to do. So there you go. Brian said the way the FAI treated Brian Kerr was a fucking disgrace, and I agree 100%. There is nobody who knows Irish football better than Brian Kerr, in my humble opinion, and I agree with Brian. The way he was treated was terrible, and I still hold Brian Kerr in the highest of esteem. Right, look, ladies and gentlemen, going to bring it to a close. To everybody who sent super chats, to everybody who put in comments, to everyone that gave us a thumbs up, to everybody that, whatever you did, thank you. Love and appreciate you. If you could download that Hot Mic app, please, before you head off or later on, put in the code you can see on the screen right there now. Anfield, all one word, all capital letters, and then give us a follow as well. Don't forget, it is a free app. It's available on the Google Play Store for all you Android, I want to say losers, but I don't want to insult anybody. For all you Android users, or if you're an Apple user like myself and, the good people of the world, then it's available in the App Store as well for you to download. It's free and it helps us out massively. Look, I will talk to you wonderful people on Monday. Have a cracking weekend. Stay safe. Tell your loved ones that you love them. And most importantly, I want to take another chance just to say thank you for everything, for making me smile, for making me happy, for coming in and sharing your thoughts about the football world with us. And we'll talk to you on Monday, I hope. Take care. Love to you all.